jobs in Maryland. Very excited that everyone is joining us on this fine morning. A little bit of a difference in these types of webinars, that they're not CPE eligible, will certainly be extremely impactful to your career. So before we get going, let's make sure everything is set and working. You should be able to see Jeff's slide on the screen in the background, photo in the middle, and let's make sure we can hear our presenter. Jeff, how's it going today?
Hey, I'm ready to talk about Maryland, Matt. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. All right. I'm excited. State that I've been through a few times, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell us a whole lot more about what's happening there. And obviously a lot of interested attendees today. Very good registration, so this is extremely exciting. Normally I talk about CPE and those types of things at this point. This class is not qualified for CPE. It's going to be a much shorter class, but a whole lot of great content, great information on employment opportunities, and as well as what makes top public accounting firms and the top public accounting employees. So I'm going to leave that part to Jeff. But if you do have questions throughout the presentation, that question panel is the place to ask those, and I certainly encourage you to do that. That is the way Jeff's going to be able to answer the things that are on your mind and pertinent to you. Obviously, with this short session, we'll see how many we can get to, but that is how we want to make it interactive. We are going to make a recording of today's presentation, and that will be posted into the archive library on CPA Academy. So if you missed anything, or if there's just some details you weren't able to jot down, or perhaps you need to share this information with someone else you know, that is where you can find the recording. And of course, as Jeff will tell you more, Accountingfly is the place to go to find out all the details from Maryland and beyond. And we're very grateful that Jeff's been here and obviously providing this information to our members. We've been doing several of these, and with a lot of praise for them. So we're very pleased to welcome him back. I will step out of the way, Jeff, and turn it over to you.
Matt, thank you. Thanks to everybody for being on this morning's call. I'm calling you from Pensacola, Florida. I'm on the Gulf of Mexico, so if you're near water, then your day may look like mine. Ours is foggy and cloudy with a lot of rain here on the bay, so it feels kind of like a more of a mid-Atlantic day. Matt, just so you know, I got some feedback that you were having a little static on your audio, but so if that's the case with me, guys, please let me know through the question panel. One thing I'd love to know is just where everybody's calling in from today. Please use your question panel. Just let me know where you're located. And the reason why I want to know that is you may be in Bethesda, Rockville, DC area, or you may be relocating soon to Maryland. So we've got Youngstown, Ohio, for instance, and then Annapolis, welcome. Chicago, thank you for being here. So people from all over, actually. So thanks for just letting me know where you're in. Typically, when we do these, we actually have 60 or 70% of the audience are people who are looking to relocate. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you. And please ask questions. I'd like to spend a few minutes at the end to answer questions. Let me tell you what this is and what this isn't. I would like to explain what our company does, Accountingfly. I would like to tell you what makes a really great place to work, especially in public accounting. We've challenged the public accounting industry to improve their workplaces and to take it to the next level so that they are better places to work. By being a better place to work, you attract more high performers. If you attract great people, you're going to have great success with your clients and increased profitability. And it all starts with talent, right? And so while a lot of firms are getting this right, some aren't, and we feel like it's our job to tell you what we think you should be looking for in a great employer to save you that time. What are the top jobs, top public accounting jobs in Maryland? Okay, and then next, how can you get one of those jobs? I'd like to also throw in how can you get hired in general, just some basic tips in the internet era on how to find jobs discreetly. That's very important for CPAs. And what I ask is that we get your feedback. We like to keep continuing to do these. We want to be helpful to CPAs, which is our primary constituent. our community. So how can we make these better? Love feedback, and we want to keep improving. In fact, we made a lot of changes to today's presentation because we did this same webinar for Austin last week, and incorporated a lot of the changes. So we're listening. All right, let's get going. So just a little bit about Accountingfly. We're a startup in the accounting space. We're about 3 years in, and what we're trying to do is change the way accountants get hired. We're trying to change the way accounting employers make hires. If you're a CPA right now, or if you're an accounting student right now, you're actually sitting in the middle of the period of peak demand in history for your talents. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, and I get that, but the numbers don't lie. You're in incredible demand. And the opportunities are incredible, but the reason why we have a business is it's very hard to hire you guys. So we help accounting employers tell their story and connect with talent like you all. And what we do for CPAs is, and what we're trying to do is to provide you the very best content about your career that you will find anywhere. And you should hold us to that standard, the very best. And if we deliver, then that's great. And if we don't, then you tell us, and we will go back and find better content for you. So that includes advice through webinars like this, videos, our blog, our social media accounts. If you have found that your career decisions were easier because we exist, then we have been successful. Okay? So we are a job board like Monster.com, where I worked for 7 years, but we specialize in accounting, and we work with accounting employers only. We work with a lot of public accounting firms. So you can search jobs on our site, and you'll notice that some of the jobs are clearly jobs that are paid jobs, jobs that clients have paid to connect to you. And then you'll find jobs from our network of job board partners that we've curated that you can apply directly with the employers. So right now we think we're the largest accounting job board on the internet. So what do you get out of it? You can drop a resume on Accountingfly. You can make that resume public so that recruiters can find you, or you can make it private so that no one can find you except for the people that you apply to, because we know discretion is very important. But the good news is that once you drop that resume once, you can apply to any job on the site. Okay, and we have virtual career fairs like Meet the Firms Week that's coming up in October 19th. You can go to meetthefirmsweek.com if you're a college student looking to secure an internship or an entry-level job. I think one thing we really want to do is tell CPAs what we have learned about great places to work in the accounting profession. I myself have worked at American Express, which is routinely on the top places to work in the world list, and then worked at Snagajob, which was named the top small business in America to work for 3 years ago. I'm a big fan of Great Places to Work, the company that oversees that, and we are trying to teach accounting firms how to be great places to work as well. But I will tell you that there are 3 firms that I'm going to show you today that meet that criteria. And I think that you'll be excited to learn about them. What does it mean to be a good place to work? Well, specifically, what does it mean to be a top public accounting firm in the state of Maryland, or anywhere for that matter? So, first of all, and this almost goes without saying, but that there are true professionals working at the enterprise. They're committed to the clients, that are committed to the future of the client's success, their success, their future, and committed to being excellent professionals and serving client interests. And I feel like a lot of firms do a fantastic job of that. Where we challenge firms to step up their game is their commitment to staff, employees, and the community. Why? Because we know that those are non-negotiable must-haves to be excellent places to work. Committed to employee development, committed to employee growth, committed to seeing that a young CPA, for instance, is a future leader in the firm. And yes, while they may leave one day to private industry, it's worth the risk of investing them in training on technology, training on career development, training on leadership and business development skills, so that if they stay, they turn into a true leader in the firm. And we work with firms, and we want to work with firms and want you to apply to firms that invest in the local community, not in a sort of one-off, mentality, but a true commitment. We know that millennial accountants especially are looking for firms that make that commitment. We want you to apply at firms and work at firms that have excellent cultures, and that they define that culture up front. We are a conservative place to work. We are a laid-back place to work. We believe in you gotta hit certain face time expectations to be a player here. We believe that face time isn't required here. We want you to understand up front what you're getting into, and we want there to be a culture for your growth and for the firm's growth. These make great places to work. Thirdly, they're technology forward. We always tell firms, look, if you're using old and outdated technology, the message that you're sending to talent, to candidates, is we're not in this anymore for the long haul. We're short timers now. And if firms are not embracing cloud technology, firms haven't gone paperless, if firms haven't haven't embraced technologies like QuickBooks Online and Xero for some of their bookkeeping and smaller like outsourced services, that's a challenge, because you exist in a technology profession and need to understand technology to be a next generation leader, right? And then lastly, next generation firms, they're actively looking for the best and brightest. We know a place that's committed to talent if they say things like, we're always looking to hire great people. We're always looking to talk to great people. So apply anytime and we will get in touch with you. That's a good sign. That's a great sign, actually. And so that means that they aren't worried about filling jobs. They're worried about finding great talent. And they're out there, and that's the exciting part. Okay, so let's move on, and I'm gonna talk about 3 firms that are on our short list that you need to know about. First is Councilor, Buchanan, Mitchell. Councilor, Buchanan, Mitchell is over in Bethesda, but they also have a Washington D.C. office. 7 partners, and then there's more accounting staff, but that gives you an idea of the size. The thing that has really blown us away about CBM is that Smart CEO named them the CPA Firm of the Year in 2015. And so Peter Riley, who is their managing partner, was featured in that award, and he is a dynamic leader who's building an incredible culture at CBM. Washington, we have a typo. Okay, Washington Business Journal was the top-ranked accounting firm in 2015. So the Washington, D.C. Business Journal ranked them as the top accounting firm in 2015. A smaller firm, but they're tech sophisticated. They're progressive. 2 of their 7 partners are female, but they're progressive in ways beyond just having gender diversity in the partnership. This is a place that develops people through a mentorship program and gives individuals just a commitment to grow and develop in their careers. They get great benefits. This is a place where team-focused people will thrive. And obviously they have some specialty industry experience. This is a place where it feels good to work, where they're high energy, and there's just everybody we've met there has been fantastic. So that's CBM. So they're in Bethesda and Washington, D.C. What do they have open right now? Like most firms in public accounting, they're looking for audit and tax seniors with 3 years experience or more, and then audit and tax managers or senior in charge, 5+ experience. If you have a CPA, you have a background in audit or tax, do yourself a favor and have a conversation with this firm. This is a great place to work. They exceed the criteria that we look at for great places to work on every level and hit a home run on every level. High employee satisfaction, lower turnover than you'll see in our industry, and just a fantastic culture. They just have momentum, and they're winning, and they're doing really well. So I'll talk more. I'll give you an offer a little bit later on how to connect with these firms, and depending on if you're like ready for a job right now, or just browsing, or just want to kind of be passive and learn more. But that's CBM, Councilor, Buchanan, Mitchell, and Bethesda. All right, next up, Snyder Cone is in Rockville, on Rockville Pike, and so Snyder Cone is a larger firm, 75 staff, and they operate in a lot of the same. They have a more robust feature set or service set. What struck me with Snyder Cone, my big takeaway, is that Accounting Today has routinely named them best firms to work for, and this Millennials Best Place to Work 2015. So for those of you between the ages of 25 and 35 who are in that sort of senior to manager range, this is named in the United States as one of the very best places for you to work because they understand so many of the more modern practices of workplace that you're expecting. Supportive work environment. You're assigned a mentor coach that helps you navigate not only your technical but just fitting in. It's really strong skill set at the firm when it comes to integrating new hires. They cover your dues for professional organizations. They're technology forward. In fact, all of these firms are technology forward when you think of it. So, one of the things I thought was interesting was that they're open about the fact that you can be productive working on your own schedule from virtually anywhere. You do not hear that a lot from public accounting firms, right? So this is a place that embraces flexibility, embraces the cloud, embraces your interest, if you are interested in not having to sit in an office and get your work done there. I love that they do this. Our whole team is behind this concept, and we are proud to be working with Snyder Cone. And by the way, I do want to speak. So 2 of these firms have postings on Accountingfly, and one of them doesn't. We're not trying to shill just Accountingfly clients. In fact, there are clients that we have that we're not mentioning on this webinar at our own risk. These are firms that by our definition are exceeding certain criteria. Some happen to be our customers, and one of them doesn't currently. So, take it for what you will, but this is not just sort of like an infomercial for firms on Accountingfly. Snyder Cone is looking for entry-level staff 0 to 3, tax manager in their estate gifts and trust group, so 7. So if any of you have that experience, send me your resume. We'll personally introduce you to the managing partner. Tax seniors and senior accountants, 2 to 3 years of experience. So again, if you have a CPA, if you have, really any audit or tax experience, Snyder Cone is a place you should talk to. In fact, I would say that if you're on the call and you're even browsing making a change, have a conversation with every one of these firms. But let's talk about that in a second, because I really want to make a plea to you about how to think about a career change and how to think about a job search. Lastly, in Rockville, actually on their Rockville Pike Place as well, is Squire Limpkin and Company. So 35 staff, a little smaller, about half the size as Snyder Cone, 8 partners. I've been to Squire Limpkin's offices. I've sat in their conference rooms. I've met their wonderful people like Kim Fitzgerald. This is just an outstanding firm with a strong firm culture. They promote work-life balance. They understand that a stronger team has balance than asking you to work insane hours, right? Clear development path for your career. You're assigned a mentor, and you're assigned clear expectations and clear instructions. Thank you, guys, Squire Limpkin, for being, so this is one of the big things at Accountingfly is clear expectations from day one, clear instructions on what exactly it is that you're supposed to do, and clear instructions on how you can develop your own skill set to grow as a leader. So Squire Limpkin absolutely gets that right. They have your back when it comes to community volunteering. It's not only supported, it's encouraged, and there's this flexibility thing where you can determine the hours that you're going to work each day. Again, you don't see this at a lot of public accounting firms where they're asking you to come in and talk about a flexible situation that works right for you. They reimburse your CPE and CPA review courses up to $500, and so clearly strong culture, strong commitment to developing people, strong commitment to community service, strong commitment to flexibility so that you can have your work and life sort of work for you. And they're also a technology strong firm. So I just can't say enough about these guys, Snyder Cone and CBM. These are all just outstanding places that are all growing. They all want to talk to great CPAs. What does Squire Limpkin have? So right now they've got a tax senior 3 to 5. So again, a CPA, if you have an interest in working in Rockville and you've got a tax background, they would love to talk to you, trust me. Okay? All right, so we're 20 minutes in. Let's talk a couple more. Let's just talk a little bit about you and your job search and what's next. Okay? So the big thing for CPAs is like, how do I try to find a new career? How do I find out if something better is out there for me and be discreet at the same time? It's very important. And the first thing that I want to talk about is if you have an interest in working in Maryland, you should talk to these 3 firms. And that's whether you're ready to get a new job today or you are just sort of floating things and wondering what's out there, or you're very passive and you're really just here and you're not even sure why. I would encourage you to have a conversation. These firms would love to talk to you in a very discreet way to tell you more about their firms from their words, not from mine. I don't work there. But you could get a really clear sense of why these are great places to work, sort of no matter where you are in the process. And so job boards like Accountingfly are very valuable because they are great sources of information for you as a professional. And there's 2 things you can do with that information. One is obviously you can apply. And why I think Accountingfly works is because we do a good job of notifying the employer that you have applied, and they want to talk to you so bad they typically respond fairly quickly. But you know how business works, whether it's building a relationship with a new client or making a hire or getting hired yourself. Websites are merely sources of information, and what it really takes is making a personal connection. And a lot of times it takes that long game relationship. So even if you are sitting there just pretty happy with what you're doing, but maybe you're thinking about a move to Maryland, or maybe you're thinking about just seeing what's out there, the wisest move you can make is have a conversation with firms like this who we have curated for you. We have set them apart and said this is a great place to work. And you can take a deep look at them completely discreetly with a phone conversation with like their head of recruiting or one of their managing partners or one of their partners, and find out for you if it's worth taking that next step. And we'll happily introduce you to the stakeholders and arrange a conversation if that's what you want. So, but that networking piece is absolutely key because the relationships you form today will turn into job opportunities and business opportunities down the road. Okay, so if you're actually just sort of browsing, it's a perfect time to have that conversation. And I think the other piece is use your job boards to find information and apply for sure, but begin to network and begin to develop relationships and make phone calls and ask good questions and connect with leaders at these firms and challenge them on why it would be a place to trust your career. Trust me, these firms will answer that question very strongly. And then you got to think about how you differentiate yourself as a job seeker. Yes, it's a job seeker's market, but still the employers have to decide to make you an offer and to compensate you for what you believe you're worth. And so that's to get the high offer and to max out your offer, you're going to have to differentiate yourself. You need to think like a marketer. And I can tell you that there are technical skills that firms want, and that's a given, but they also want leadership skills, business development abilities, and they want to know that you can come in and do a great job. So it's up to you to sort of articulate what sets you apart, how you differentiate, and before you ever have a conversation with a contact or an interview, you need to think of stories in your own career where you have achieved success outside of just your technical skill set. Were you a leader? Did you get into a new piece of business? Did you join organizations? Are you out there in the community? Are you a leader? Have those stories in your mind and be prepared to share them and work them into a conversation. It's important that they understand there are differences about you so that they can get excited and want to give you the offer that you want, assuming they give you an offer, right? So use job boards to gather and apply information, and to gather information and apply. Use them to begin networking and commit to networking. And that means making a call, asking for advice, asking about your firm. Why should I trust my career to your firm? I'm interested in making a move, starting now to develop those relationships. And when you're in that conversation, be prepared to set yourself apart through stories from your career. Okay? So I'm going to talk next steps, and then I've got a couple of questions. If you need a job right now and you're ready to apply, you can find these. You can go to these firms' Accountingfly pages or their website and apply. Just so you know, Accountingfly is a job board with an applicant tracking system, so it's a lot easier to apply in Accountingfly, and it also takes less time than it is applying on their website. And this is the program that these firms use to actually capture applicants, or at least 2 of them. So go ahead and apply. If you're browsing, you should learn more on their profile and their websites, and send me your resume to start a conversation via referral. We'll get you in touch with the partners at these firms to have a conversation. Really encourage you to do that. If you're ready to interview, then you should just apply, because they'll be ready for you if you meet their criteria. If you're just getting started and you want to learn more about career opportunities, how to discreetly find a job, salary information, and to be in the know for more webinars like this, then hit up accountingfly.com/blog, and you can join our newsletter there, and you can pick which news you get. So let me pause for 1 second. I'll take a couple questions. I hear that I lost sound. Are we back? Let's see. Yeah, sounds like we're back. Okay. Thank you. All right, so let me give you these links real quick. So I'm gonna distribute these through the chat here, guys. You can check out the Accountingfly profiles for any of these firms. Councilor, Buchanan, Mitchell. I'm having a hard time saying that this morning. Here's that one. Okay. And here's the website for Squire Limpkin. Boom. And lastly, here is the Accountingfly profile for Snyder Cone. Now, let me give you my email address. Here is that. And the last thing is my email address. So like I said earlier, send me an email with your resume. If you meet the criteria that they're looking for, I'd be happy to make an introduction. If you are ready right now to apply, just go apply. All you have to do is drop a resume. It takes less than a minute. If you want to have a conversation on the down low, I'll be happy to make that introduction. What questions do you have about the job search, about these firms, about job boards? Do you know that one of the biggest frustrations we got when we started a job board was that applicants were frustrated by the lack of response from employers, and we saw that with our own job board, and it was a very fascinating thing to watch happen. Employers sometimes don't respond to candidates, and so we did 2 things to try to change that. One, we send notifications to the employer with your information so that they get excited about your background as soon as they see it. And secondly, we have a team of hiring advocates. So they play the role of intermediary, kind of like matchmakers. If a firm has great candidates in their applicant pool, but they haven't responded, our hiring advocates advocate on your behalf to make sure that they're talking to you. All right. So I do have one question. Do we list positions in private companies? Yes. So thanks for the question. You will find pretty much the most exhaustive list of accounting jobs on the web on Accountingfly. A lot of private companies are through job board partners and will link right to the private company's website where you can apply. We've curated those job opportunities for you on the site. Mostly it's firms that they come to Accountingfly and post jobs, although I think our list is probably the most exhaustive online. All right. Next, what is the normal interview process nowadays? Phone or in-person interviews? Well, actually, you're going to see a lot of Skype and Google Hangout interviews. You're going to see a lot more of that. But typically, and thanks for the question, you're going to go through an upfront phone or Skype interview that's going to be kind of a punch-out round, to see if minimum criteria is met. Is the technical skill set there? Is there a cultural fit based off the firm's values and based off of, how you present and your background? If that is a match, then they'll bring you into the office. A lot of firms at this level pay for relocation. I'm not saying that these firms do, although I wouldn't be shocked if they did. But they will typically, they'll have you down for an interview, fly you down for an interview, and relocate you sometimes if for those senior positions. But I don't know if these firms do or not, but I would not be surprised if they did, because you're in demand. So that's it I've got right now. I do have one question that I'll respond to kind of privately, but that's it. So we're at 9:31. Remember, check these firms out on Accountingfly or on their website. Apply to them if you're a good fit. And if you're not ready to apply but like a conversation, just email me your resume and we'll get you in touch very discreetly. Please give us feedback, jeff@accountingfly.com or through the question panel. And that's all we've got for now, Maryland, and people who are not in Maryland but want to hear about Maryland. So have a great day. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you so much for being a part of this. Thanks for CPA Academy for organizing it. Matt, we'll wrap it up, and it's back over to you.
Great, Jeff. Thank you so much. We always appreciate you being here and sharing these opportunities with members. Like I said, we'll post this recording later in the day today, so if you missed any of the notes and details Jeff stated, you can obviously go back and review it then. And Jeff, again, thank you so much. Obviously a fantastic resource. We certainly do appreciate you being here and letting everyone know about these opportunities. So I encourage everyone to reach out in the appropriate way, depending on whether you need to simply click on the link or go ahead and contact Jeff directly. Certainly do that. And pass along this information to anybody that you know who may find this useful. That's certainly one way to not only network but help everyone else out. So once again, Jeff, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending, and looking forward to the next one.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.